Williamsville to Grand Island, covering all of Western New York, this is News 4, your local news leader.
Shea's Performing Arts Center is, of course, a gem in downtown Buffalo and the gem of the theater district. But even a gem needs occasional polishing.
The 98-year-old facility is about to get a facelift. Shea's president and CEO, Brian Higgins, is back with us in the studio this afternoon. Brian, welcome.
Good to be with you, Jordan. Dave, thank you for having me.
So when you first stepped into this role, you had a vision for what Shea's would become in the future. What was missing?
Lack of challenging the limits of possibility. The good thing is the building is 100 years old, close to it. The bad thing is it's 100 years old. So the 100th anniversary of the centennial will allow us the opportunity to make an investment not only into the historic theater, the Wonder Theater, Shea's Theater, but also the entire theater district with streetscaping, with new digital advertising for art and advertisement. We have a huge economic impact in downtown Buffalo. Lion King this week, it's 95% capacity. We will have a $5.5 million impact on the theater district. There's an economic term called the multiplier effect, and it's the consumption that occurs from the spending as a result of the spending beyond the original amount spent. And for Shea's, it's $3.27. So over the 3-week period, we will have a $15 million impact on the theater district. There are 109 bars, restaurants, and coffee shops in and around the theater district. So we're the engine of the economy of downtown Buffalo.
We were talking to Brian during the break about some of the conceptual ideas for this big expansion. So if we put a price tag on it, you were saying $30 million, but that is a fluid number.
Sure.
But let's talk about some of the things that you have planned, because this is amazing. And when was the last time this theater, I don't know if you know this, the last time this theater underwent such a transformation?
It went through a transformation to add 40% to the depth of the stage, which really made Shea's one of the best Broadway touring venues in the entire country. But this is different. This is to enhance the the audience experience. Our simple premise is, how do we move people into the theater and around the theater in the most efficient and safest way? 3 high-speed, large-capacity elevators, at least 60 new bathroom, restroom fixtures, a new concession area, and a larger lobby area on the first floor. But we're always looking, different days, different weeks. We're looking at additions that we can make. We're looking at what other theaters have done throughout the country and the world to keep Shea's as, a first-rate theater for the people of Buffalo and Western New York. Keep in mind, Shea's is a not-for-profit. Yeah. The community owns Shea's. We are merely the stewards, and our obligation at year 100 is to leave the theater in the best possible shape for the next generation.
So you talk about the community aspect, and a big part of this is making Shea's more accessible. I was at Shea's earlier this morning to preview The Lion King, and you see all the decorations, you see all the beauty, and so many families and beyond Western New York, they come, and Shea's is part of their holiday tradition. They go out for dinner, see a show. Why is it important to make it accessible for all families?
Whether you're 8 or 90, people are transformed in that space, and we have an obligation to make sure that it runs as efficiently and as safely as possible. But we also have an obligation beyond Shea's and the 3 venues or 2 we own, and that is to redevelop the theater district so all the restaurants will maximize the economic impact that buying a ticket for Shea's will have. So you buy a ticket for Shea's, it has a $3.27 impact on everything around it. And most of those places, and this is according to them, would not be there if it were not for the presence of Shea's and the economic activity that's generated there.
When you were on Capitol Hill, you were an expert in bringing money back to Western New York, and especially we have Canal Side today, Brian, because of your efforts on Capitol Hill to bring hundreds of millions of dollars for that redevelopment. So I will ask you, how do we plan on paying for this $30 million potentially?
We have about a third of it, and we'll raise it by selling naming rights for various aspects of the theater, the lobby and the theater itself. I mean, that's the trend nationally, internationally, and we will do that, and government money, of course, as well. But I think the bottom line is it's challenging the limits of what is possible. And I think that, you know, much like the waterfront, people were talking about it for 75 years and nothing happened. I think what we offer is a vision, but a commitment to do the hard work to make that vision something real. And that will change Buffalo for the next 100 years.
And do you see this, you know, this renovation is just the start? I mean, we have big year number 100 right around the corner, right?
We do. We are doing the addition to the historic theater minimally, and we are going to be doing much more. So there'll be many, many component parts to the overall capital campaign. But the major feature will be, it's probably about a $12 to $15 million addition to the old Shea's historic theater. Michael Shea, you know, believed that the working folks should have access to theater in Buffalo. So he built 14 theaters, 2 in Toronto, 12 in Buffalo. But his opus was the Shea's Buffalo, and it was about $1.9 million when he built it.
Wow.
$36 million in today's dollars. So our renovations, our capital plan, our capital vision will look at perhaps an equal amount to revitalize the theater district. Theater district in Buffalo is a great, great place, but it needs to be a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week destination, as it is in other areas. Cleveland and others have demonstrated that they can do it. We can do it in Buffalo, and we will do it.
Excellent.
Love
Brian
it.
Higgins, thank you so much. Brian also said 95% sold out for Lion King, so if folks are still looking for things to do this weekend, you might have to pay for the ticket, but boy, it is a show.
Stay tuned. We're going to have a preview
And that's
coming
true,
up
too.
later, so stay tuned for that. Brian, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
Great to see
Jordan.
you,
Thank you, Dave. Great to see you guys. Thank you very
Great to
much.
see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.